Alright guys, who's next?
I don't know, this idiot over here.
Hey! Who is the most annoying person you know?
Your mom. Whoa. You don't have to do this, man.
Dude, I really want to freaking kill this guy. Look, I know you do, but come on, man. Just put the gun down and let's just keep playing the game.
Fine.
What is the most pointless thing you experienced?
Your life.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that opening skit, because now, welcome to 2020! And yeah, I know I'm a few months late on this video, but who cares? It's 2020! The start of a new decade. You know, what really happened during the 2010s? Well, Jared Leto became the Joker, I started making cringy YouTube videos, and Norm of the North came out. All things that we would like to forget. But hey, it's the start of a new year, and you know what that means! I make a video about the best videos I made in the previous year! Now, unlike last year's video, which was a top 15, this one is going to be a top 9. Why? Well, to be honest, there weren't really a lot of videos that came out in 2019. Hell, one of the choices on this list is actually a tie. So without any further ado, grab some popcorn, throw out your Fortnite, and let's get started. This is the best videos I made in 2019. Now before we start, I just want to say that an honorable mention goes to the Alice in Wonderland review. This video was actually intended to be a 2019 video, but because of the amount of editing I had to do on it, it got postponed. Abe's Amazing The Shining. Of course, it's based on the Stanley Kubrick horror classic, The Shining. Because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's The friggin' Shining. Why wouldn't it be? Come on, why wouldn't it be? So what's the premise of this video? Well, it's about a caretaker who gets a job at the Overlook Hotel to get some writing done. Even though there's nothing on his computer. He brings along his wife Wendy and son Danny, and slowly starts to go insane. Even to the point of verbally abusing his wife, and stalking her up the stairs. He then eventually tries to kill the two of them, and even kills the owner of the Overlook. He then chases Danny outside into the freezing cold, with no snow. You know what? Let me add some snow in this shot. That's better. Until he eventually freezes to death. You know what? That's not a really good effect. Let me add something to it. There we go. Now, there are a few problems with this video. For one, I got the color scheme of Jack's clothes wrong. Evelyn as Wendy Torrance isn't as hysteric as, you know, Shelley Duvall. Now, for the most part, me and my friends did our absolute best to recreate many of the iconic classic scenes from the original Stanley Kubrick film. But there are a few scenes that we also could have recreated, like the talk with Grady, though technically we did recreate that scene. The scene with the twins. I also could have done a better job on the opening credits instead of those lights that I just used at the beginning. Because of these facts, I am a little disappointed with this video because I'm a huge fan of the original film, even though this video is aged fairly well. Don't believe me? Well, just look over there. That is a poster to the original film. Yeah. While it definitely has problems, it's definitely one of the best.
Oh, check it out!
Bowser Jr.'s Happy Meal. A video which came from a main source of inspiration. That inspiration being Super Mario Logan's original Bowser Jr.'s Happy Meal 1 and 2. And considering the fact that many people were making their own version of Bowser Jr.'s Happy Meal, I decided to make my own. So what's the premise of this video? Well, Jr. wants a Happy Meal, but Bowser won't get one. And after Jr. practically forces Mario to get one for him, Mario eventually drives Jr. to get a Happy Meal. I mean, there's more to the video, but that's pretty much the basic plot. And after Jr. gets what he deserves in the end for being a little brat,
Snoop Dogg.
Bowser eventually gets the Happy Meal and gives Junior the toy.
The end.
Abe's Amazing Jaws. First thing you gotta mention, of course, is the video's thumbnail. I mean, it looks fine, it definitely closely resembles the original film poster, but then you get to me on the top.
Look at the top of his head.
So what's the premise of this video? Well, after a young girl is killed by a shark while swimming, two quote-unquote hunters named Martin Brody, played by me, and Quint, played by my friend Brandon, who you might remember from previous videos, go on a hunt on a boat to kill the shark. And after having a little bit of a conversation, they eventually find the shark, try to shoot it, and when they fail, they decide to throw a grenade into its mouth, which, by the way, is a friggin' light bulb. They eventually throw the grenade into the shark's mouth, shoot the grenade, and kill the shark. Now, if any of you had seen the video and were disappointed with the fact that there was barely any shark in it, well, I got a little story for you. In fact, this story has something to do with the story of the production of the original movie. Because what do both of these productions have in common? They were both really hard. And when I say that, I absolutely mean it. Now, why was this production really that hard? Because of this shark right here. Yeah, pretty much all of our production problems were pretty much caused by that damn shark. Now, there were lots of scenes in this video that I wanted to film that weren't even completed or, hell, even filmed at all. One of them being this scene. Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. You ought to come down and chunk some of this crap. It was also during the filming of one of the many takes of that scene that our shark pretty much just died on us. So yeah, basically for most of the production, our shark wasn't even working. Kinda like the production of the original film. In fact, I think Steven Spielberg and Richard Dreyfuss could say it best.
That's a much maligned shark. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio mics. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We'd shot the film on Martha's Vineyard, and you could follow the progress of the film by the amount of radio mics there were all over the island.
Right.
Even if you didn't care. And you heard, the shark is not working. The shark is not working. The shark is... And the shark never worked.
Okay.
Good blood.
And action, Roy.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. You ought to come down and ladle some of this.
And down.
Kind of familiar, right? In fact, there were so many problems on set with the mechanical shark that Steven Spielberg had to reconceive the film and make it more about the characters. In fact, that's pretty much exactly what I ended up doing. Now, like I said, there are lots of unfinished sequences that I wanted to complete for this video. One of them being this scene. What really happened during this scene? Well, let me tell you. I originally had plans to film a scene where me and the shark had a little fight in the ocean, and I was stabbing the shark with a knife. And when that didn't work, I swam up out of the ocean and the shark would follow me. But that didn't really happen, now did it? You want to know what was quite possibly the best day of production? The last day, which was the day we shot on the boat. You know why? Because we didn't have to shoot any more friggin' shark scenes. And considering the fact that we didn't have to shoot any more shark scenes, we just borrowed this boat from these guys, and me and Brandon just went all out, shot the rest of the video on this boat, and later I just added the shark in with a green screen. And all the rest of the shark scenes that you see in the video were from behind the scenes footage. So yeah, that last day of production on that boat was pretty much our best day. And even after all that madness, the video is at least decent. So yeah, it's a pretty decent video and definitely has the charm of the original classic. Oh well, at least Batman wasn't in it. I'm Batman! What the hell? Okay, next video. Total Recall NES Review Part 2. Now, while the first review was decent, the second review was an absolute improvement. Why? Well, quite possibly, it has better jokes. I'm not even kidding. Almost every minute of this video has a pretty good joke in it. Now, I'm not going to spoil any of the jokes, but I'll tell you the basic premise of the video. So since the game was so hard in the original review, the premise of this review is basically about me using the Game Genie to cheat my way through the rest of the game. And the whole video is basically me going through the rest of the game with a few jokes thrown in. Now, if the Alice in Wonderland review had been released in 2019, it would definitely be on this list. In fact, it'd probably be near the #1 spot. In the end, this is a pretty good review with some pretty good jokes. Here's Johnny recreated version 2. Now, for the most part, this video is a shot-for-shot recreation of the original scene. And yes, I said version 2 because the first recreation of this scene that I did was, well, awful. It had horrible dubbing, horrible sound mixing, and I was wearing a wig that made me look like friggin' Tommy Wiseau.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
So yeah, it's definitely a really good recreation of the classic "Here's Johnny" scene from Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Elmo's Sleepover. This video starts off with a meme. No, Robbie Rotten does not actually appear in the video. I wish he did. So what's the premise of this video? Well, after Elmo has a little bit of a nightmare, Elmo invites SpongeBob and Mario over and they go to draw some pictures. But then Elmo's picture starts coming to life. They then go back to the couch. When we're together. Ah, that song is awful. Hey, I know a worse one. It's Friday, gotta get... Elmo, SpongeBob, and Mario then all go to sleep, and Elmo wakes up later that night to see a ghost with a wig on, Mario's head turning backwards, and a jump scare. Alright, now on to the next... Hello? Really? Okay. So supposedly, somebody sent me an even worse song.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so I got the song pulled up on YouTube, and apparently it's so bad that I can't even tell you what it is. Or even show you any of it. So, you know what, I'm gonna watch it, because now I'm curious, because, come on, it's a friggin' stupid YouTube song. How bad could it possibly be? Oh, look, a tie. Now what could that quite possibly mean? Well, the game commercials, of course. Fun fact, these two videos were actually projects for my theater class. Sadly, I did not record a video of my class's reactions to these videos, but I can recreate them. Most people in the modern day sit on their butts and play video games. The first commercial is about a board game called Horror the Board Game, and the second commercial is about the Nintendo Entertainment System. Both of these commercials have really good jokes in them, which I won't spoil for you, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if I were to make another commercial like this, what should it be about? Nah. The possession of the Elmo dolls. So what's the premise of this video? Well, in order to really talk about this video, it's gonna contain spoilers. Then again, a majority of the other videos on this list contain spoilers. But this one includes some major spoilers. So if you haven't seen this video yet, go watch the possession of the Elmo dolls, then come back to this video and watch me ramble about it for like 5 friggin' minutes. But for those who have seen it, well, the best way I can describe this video is well, there's a lot going on in it. I'm gonna have to talk about it, like, really fast, so... let's do this. So the video starts off, you know, there's an Elmo doll outside this guy's house, and eventually he just takes it back outside of him, and then he throws it away, and then the Elmo doll goes back inside this guy's house and just kills him. Then that exact same Elmo doll appears outside this guy's house, and then he takes it inside of him, and then he throws it upstairs at the camera. And then he sits down and has visions about his dead daughters, and then later that night he sits down and he watches The Shining, yada yada yada, and then he has a little dream about his dead daughters, and then he wakes up. And then, you know, the Elmo doll is sitting right on the couch, and then the guy gets up and he goes to get a knife, and all that stuff happens. And, you know, after that happens, him and the Elmo doll are, like, talking to each other, and then the Elmo doll possesses the rest of the Elmo dolls, and he gets knocked down. Then later that night he has a little vision, you know, like he's walking around in his vision, you know, he sees himself, you know, he keeps walking around in his vision, and then eventually he wakes up from his vision, then he walks around, and then some scary stuff happens, more scary stuff happens, and then eventually the Elmo doll just chases him upstairs, and then he jumps out a freaking window, and, you know, then more scary stuff happens, and then eventually, you know, like he goes in the garage, like he grabs a chainsaw, and then eventually the chainsaw disappears, and then he goes upstairs, more scary stuff happens, he goes downstairs, more scary stuff happens, and then eventually him and the Elmo doll have a little fight, and then where he jumps off the freaking balcony, you know, like the Elmo doll grabs a knife and tries to stab him, but it doesn't work, and then the guy throws the Elmo doll at the wall, and then the guy finds the chainsaw, and he chainsaws the Elmo doll, he does a little dance, and then eventually he goes and visits his dead daughter's graves. The end. Wow. What a mouthful. This is, for now, the most amount of time and effort I put into a video. There is so much going on in the events that eventually unfold in this video that you can watch it and pretty much come up with your own category of what is actually happening on screen. Like, you could ask the question, is this all actually happening? Is there really a demon possessing this doll and is haunting this guy after the death of his two daughters? Or is this guy just completely insane and is imagining these events? But regardless of what you come up with, this video has the right amount of tension, suspense, frights, and scares to keep you all on edge. Combine this with great shots, a soundtrack entirely composed of synthesizer music, wind blowing, heartbeats, screaming little girls, and my rendition of Tubular Bells from The Exorcist, and you've got one hell of a short horror film on your hands. Now, whether this video just absolutely terrifies you or just leaves you confused and asking questions, what the hell did I just watch? It's still a video that gives you a relentlessly tension-filled, suspenseful, riveting experience and must be seen to be believed, and is the absolute 100% best video I made in 2019. And that's my list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, for any of you who are actually interested in watching these videos, I'm leaving a link to them in the description below. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, thank you all for Who is the most annoying person you know? Your mom. I'm gonna kill you. I'll see you in hell.
No, please.
Die, you disgraceful friggin' peasant.